Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be why a high value man should always be the prize to women. Well, I got an email from a guy. He's in a breakup situation here, and it's kind of a messy situation. He got involved with a woman who is living with her baby daddy. He's paying her bills basically. They had a breakup. More than likely, it seems like, just from what I've seen in here, the baby daddy doesn't, he probably is the one that got dumped. And because she's living with this guy and starts dating the dude that wrote me the email, and they're hooking up, and the guy's like, hey, if you're dating anybody, I'm cutting you off financially. So they're living together because they got a child together, and then this guy's gotten involved in her, got in the middle of this, and it's just, you got to look at this situation and think, do I really want to involve myself in a, because he's really injecting himself to be the rebound guy right in the middle of a breakup that's happening between two people that had a kid together, and they still live together. And this guy that she's living with, the baby daddy, still paying her bills, or at least he was, because now she's living on her own. And so these are the types of situations that I talk about in 3% Man. It's like, you really should not get involved with people in the middle of their divorce, or like in this case, she's still living with her baby daddy. And so there's always the chance, because she got a kid with this guy, that she's going to go back to him. It's like one of the messiest type of situations that you can get involved in. But guys get carried away on their emotions and their feelings, and they get all dopey, and they make all excuses for this stuff. And they open themselves up to a lot of emotional pain that's totally avoidable. So he says, hey, coach, I got a breakup situation that I'd like some insight on, because it's thrown me for a loop trying to figure out where and how she lost feelings. Well, it would help if you read the book. So I met this girl through mutual friends, and she just starts coming around more and more until eventually she's asking to come by my house every day. She was constantly blowing my phone up. Her interest level was very high. She was always wanting sex, and she was doing 100% of the pursuing. I wasn't interested in any relationship labels and let her bring it up. She asked to be my girlfriend one night, and I went with it. However, she has a situation where her baby daddy didn't want her dating anyone else, and if he found out, he'd stop supporting her financially. So the fact that you're just like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm going to commit to this girl that lives with her ex-boyfriend and has a kid with him still. It's like, hello, dude, this is right out of the book. So you shouldn't be surprised that this situationship is causing you grief. If she's doing all the pursuing, and then she's like, hey, I want to be exclusive with you, then what you should say is that, hey, that's nice, it's wonderful, I'm honored, but you still live with your boyfriend who you have a child with, and he's still paying all your bills. So until you move out, until you get on your own and you have your own career and you're paying your own bills, I'm only interested in just dating you casually. So after you have that kind of a conversation with her, you're the prize. You're the catch. If she's trying to lock you down, you have to be confident enough and firm enough to just say, I'm not going to really get involved with that. It just sounds, you got to think about what you're asking me here. You want me to be your boyfriend when you live with the guy that's the father of your child and he's paying all your bills. So your relationship is not finished with him. And so we can date casually until you get that situation resolved, but I'm not going to get serious or commit to you. It's kind of silly. That's like a married person, a married woman say, hey, be my boyfriend, even though I'm living with my husband, the kids I have with my husband. And I've done a lot of phone sessions and plenty of emails over the years with guys that are in those situations. And because they're so focused on their own emotions and feelings, they totally ignore that reality. And so a big thing that would help this guy is just to be like, hey, this is strictly friends with benefits, sex playmate type of thing here. And you definitely should be wearing a raincoat as well, because you don't want to slip one past the goalie, especially with this girl living with her ex-boyfriend. So apparently the ex-boyfriend that she lives with, he did find out that she was seeing this guy. He says, but she didn't break up with me. She pretended to. So in other words, now we see that she's willing to lie to her boyfriend. So if she lies to her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, whatever, the baby daddy, she will lie to you. Character is destiny. This is part of the vetting process. And so if she's lying to him because she can't be truthful and honest, well, it's obviously become a way of life for her. So you should pay attention to these things. And it made me think, or made him think, that she wasn't seeing me. So our interest was still very high at this point. Me and her found that we applied for nursing school together for the same start and the same class. So we started that in July. We sat by each other, and that has become our assigned seats. And we do clinicals together. You'll know why this sucks when I get to the breakup, LOL. It's like, again, this is something covered in the book that says, I would not get involved with these people in these kinds of situations because you get stuck in limbo. And especially, if you're dating somebody that's married, I see a lot of women I've done phone sessions with over the years are dating a guy 5, 6, 7 years. Oh, it's just not the right time to leave my wife. She's really vulnerable right now, and she's really stressful. But this fall, I'm definitely going to leave her. And then it's always something else happens, and they never leave. They just say what they got to say to keep the side piece happy. Just like this girl will probably say whatever she needs to say to her ex and to you to keep everybody happy so she can keep living the way she wants. And it's obvious you're looking for a girlfriend, but you're ignoring the absurdity of the whole situation, which is that she lives with her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend that she has a kid with. And he pays all her bills. He says, anyway, she had now moved to a new apartment with her sister because when her baby daddy found out we were seeing each other, he kicked her out of their apartment. Well, it's understandable if this guy... So that right there tells me that her living with him was that he was either trying to or he was open to a reconciliation. And then once he finds out she's dating and sleeping with somebody else and moving on, he's like, why would I want to pay for that? Why would I want to pay all this girl's bills and have her live with me? And he wants to work things out with her, and yet she's going out and sleeping with other people. So he's like, if you're going to act single, then great. Move out and go live with somebody else and pay your own bills. And then that way I can get back to enjoying my life, and I can have a single life, and I can start dating. Because obviously he can't bring any girls over if the ex-girlfriend is living with him. But obviously she leaves to go hook up with other dudes that she's dating. It's like, no guy's going to want to put up with that. So it's understandable that he's like, well, all right, get out. But like I said, this situation, it looks like the ex still wanted to rekindle things. And once he realized that she was sleeping with somebody else, he's like, get out. Which is understandable. But we still stayed together. Everything was going fine, so I thought, until one day I would go to her house to practice for our physical assessment on each other for a lab. Out of the blue, she brings up breaking up, saying that I drink too much, I need to see a therapist, and she wanted me to block all those bitches you fucked. I'd be like, you were living with your ex-boyfriend when we started seeing each other. And it doesn't seem like it's resolved yet. So the other thing I'd be curious about is like, what is the ex-boyfriend? Is he still hoping to rekindle things? Because while they were living together, it sure seemed like he was expecting to rekindle things. But as soon as he found out she was dating and sleeping with somebody else, he's like, because it's not fair to him. The guy's paying her bills and everything, and so he's not allowed to date anybody else, but she can go date and sleep with who she wants. It's like, you're paying for all that stuff. It's like, get out. I want to have a girl over. I want to date. I want to move on with my life. That's absurd. So he says, I just laughed it off like you can't be serious. And she started being cocky, so I just left the house without saying a word about it. And this was on a Thursday. The entire weekend, she's blowing up my phone, telling me how much she loves me, misses me, wants to try to work on things, and doesn't want to lose me. She was saying all the right things to pull me back in. I told her I would give her another chance and see her in class on Tuesday. On Tuesday, when class is over, she gets up and leaves so fast, doesn't even give me a chance to walk out with her like we usually do. And I text her and ask, what gives? She replies saying that she thought she had feelings for me, but nah. I don't feel anything. And she doesn't want to try to work on the relationship. I get frustrated with her and block her on everything, partly because, well, I'm angry. It hadn't even been 48 hours since she told me all that I love you stuff, and then she pulled that crap on me. Well, remember, she accused you of gaslighting. Remember, no one will ever do or say anything to you that isn't a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. And so she was actually projecting. And so again, these are the kinds of things you listen for and you look for when you're dating and you're trying to vet somebody. So she's actually gaslighting you. So what is happening is she's projecting. So he says she texted the next day after class because I wasn't speaking to her saying, "Can we just be normal? Today felt weird." I told her no, she will get what I decide to give her, and she doesn't get to ask that of me anymore and to leave me alone. This was the last text I sent. I regret being angry when I sent it, but I've implemented no contact and I'm currently on day 4. Tomorrow I have to see her in class and sit next to her. Any insight would be awesome. Well, as far as you're concerned, it's over and that's it. If she wants to come and, if you see her, smile, wave to her, whatever. If she's sitting next to you, hey, what's going on? And if she wants to talk about it, it's like, well, we can talk about it, after class, but it's like, you made it pretty clear you didn't give a damn. And quite frankly, I don't really want to get involved with somebody that has a messy situation like what you have with your ex. And for you to say all those nasty things to me, tell me you love me and you want to work on the relationship, and then you're like, hey, I don't feel anything for you. It's like, I don't want to hear that. That's ridiculous. That's not the kind of thing that's going to win me over. You got to treat me good. You got to be nice to me. You got to be easygoing, easy to get along with, and sweet and kind. And saying this kind of shit to me, telling me you love me, and then breaking it off, telling me you don't feel anything for me, it's like, I look at that, I go, I can't take anything you say seriously. That tells me that you're probably not completely honest. And it's like, I don't know that I want to get involved with you again when I see that kind of behavior. So why should I give you another chance? What would change? What would you do differently? Flip it around on her. But as a whole, man, I wouldn't get involved with somebody like this because it looks like she's a liar. Looks like she's a gaslighter. Looks like she's got poor judgment. And on top of that, she's a little vindictive. Granted, he was vindictive too with blocking her everywhere, but I can understand. You get all those I love yous, and then the next day he's like, I don't feel nothing. I was like, okay. Match and mirror the actions. If she treats you like a second-class citizen, flirt with other girls in class. You should be focused on the type of relationship and type of girl that you want and you want to create. And there's a lot of red flags that have popped up with this girl in the few months that you've been seeing her, in addition to the fact, the issue with the guy she was living with. So if I were you, I'd be reading the book and applying it, and I'd get some other choices and some other options and not put all your eggs in this one basket with this girl who, just based on her behaviors, a lot of disqualifying behavior here. So if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.